I think I've said this in a couple videos lately that the death of Charlie Kirk has really made an impact on me like it has on so many others. And again, this man that I never met, I have been pondering his courage and his fortitude and his willingness to say the truth. First, he had to know the truth, then he had to speak the truth. And the more he did it, the less afraid he was. And I have found that to be true too. When I first got my radio show, how many years ago was that? 15, 20 years ago. I remember when people would make comments, it would hurt, and I would try to change and maybe say it differently or softer and to try to appease people. I remember when I first went on the radio, my show is Breakfast with Bacon. But part of that reason was, well, I didn't really want them to know I was Christian or Catholic, although it was on a Christian radio station. And I didn't mind if they knew I was Christian, but I wanted to give them God the backdoor method, like, oh, you're getting it, but here you're getting it. And the more I've grown, the more I've aged, the longer I've been on the air, it's been, I'm giving you God and I'm going right through the front door, which is what Charlie Kirk had done. And he inspired me to do. And it's not about Charlie Kirk, but I think of if he had known the impact he would have, I think well, obviously he does now, be stunned like, wow, my truth speaking, even for 31 years, that big of a difference, that many people came to Christ. So this video today is about that spirit in you. And I just talked with a person, I just got off the phone with a person, and she knows the decision ahead of her. She knows what she needs to do. And she said, I pray all the time. I've gone closer to God. But if I do this person will think that. And if I do that, this person will think that. And so sometimes it's hard to do what is right. And what was leading her, and I said this, is two things are guiding you. It's really one thing, but I can phrase it as two: fear. And it's the second thing, which is really the first thing, is fear of what other people will think. What will other people do? What are the consequences? I don't know who's meant to see this video, but I feel the fire in me saying, stop caring what other people think. Do what you know to be right. Do what is good. Do what is right. The truth. Do what is truthful. The truth shall set you free. The truth. Not living trying to accommodate. Well, if I do this, my kids might not talk to me. If I do that because my spouse is pulling away from God, he may leave me or he may pull away from the church. Do what you know to be right. Give the consequences to God. Truth. Truth. You first need to know what the truth is. Go to the Bible. Go to the catechism. What does the church teach? Because yes, the church is what is Jesus' word passed down. Jesus did not want 48,000 churches. He made one church. He made a Catholic church. Don't be afraid to seek truth because you're afraid that maybe the religion you've been all these years is maybe wrong. Seek it. And don't be afraid if your friends turn against you. I think about it, my 50th birthday party. That was 10, almost 11 years ago. I had 50, 60 people there, maybe more. For my 60th birthday this past December, I probably had 30 people there because the more I speak truth, there are people that pull away from me. But I feel like my life is richer. I feel like those who are in my life are deeper friends. The Bible says that too, right? Let your acquaintances be many and your friends be few, your confidants be few. There are consequences to me speaking out against lies, speaking out against evil, speaking out against the lies that we've had to ingest about divorce and marriage. If you're Catholic, for instance, and you've not been married in a Catholic church, that person you're married to is not a marriage. It's invalid. Call me. I can give you more information. Talk to your priest. That's probably better, but turn that into a marriage. It's not, well, most people think the majority isn't right. The gospel is right. There will be consequences for choosing to do the good and the right and the just. There always has been. Satan owns this earth temporarily. God gave him control of it for now, but God hasn't pulled his finger off. And what I want to say is, if you are to die tomorrow, or no one else was around, if no one else saw any of your decisions, what would you do? And most of my viewers, I would do what God wants. Well, then let's factor in, now your wife is watching, now your husband's watching, now your kids are watching, now your siblings are watching. Oh, what? You're not going to have sex with your husband because you found out it's not a valid marriage? It means it's not a valid marriage. It means every time you have sex with your husband in an invalid marriage, you are committing adultery. You are in the state of mortal sin. This isn't Christine Bacon saying this. This is God, Jesus says it in the Bible, right? Any man who divorces his wife and marries another forces her to commit adultery and vice versa. There is no adultery clause. I'll do a video again on that. There are so many things, guys. I'm getting bolder, speaking the truth, whether you like me or not, whether you like the truth or not, because it's not me you're rejecting, it's Christ you're rejecting. And don't be convinced that just because you're a good Catholic or a good Christian, that you're not falling for some of these lies. I pray every day, I read the Bible. Well, then do the tough thing. What if you tell your spouse who you're in a second marriage with and your first spouse is still living, guess what? I can't have sex with you anymore. We need to live as brother and sister because we're not validly married, because Jesus said so. If your spouse is still alive, you're still in that valid marriage. Or if you're the person who is marrying someone who's seeking an annulment, you didn't get the annulment yet, and you're like, well, you tell everybody, but I'm going to get married in the Catholic Church. Well, wait a minute. How do you know? What if the annulment doesn't get approved? And remember, there's no approval. It just says, we decided, we checked to see if your marriage was null when it happened in the first place or not. There's scandal in there. Guys, we have got to live by the example that Charlie Kirk and Jesus and many other truth speakers set, primarily Jesus, but those right now on the earth who are speaking the truth no matter the consequences. And Charlie Kirk took a bullet to the throat for proclaiming Christ. Yeah, you might say, well, he had said something about trans shooters. Trans, he was speaking truth because it goes against Christ. It was Christ they killed him for. And I bet if we asked him if you had to do it all over again, would you? And I bet he'd say yes. And I bet if we asked his grieving widow if you wanted him to reject God and go softer so you could have him more days, would you want that? And I bet even in her grief, she'd say, I want him back every day, but I'm glad he chose to not go against God. The consequences, you guys, of you making the right choices might be death. You might be martyred. But for some of you, the consequences might be your spouse who's waffling in the faith may leave you if you said, I can't have sex with you because we're not validly married. He may leave you. If you tell your children they're not allowed to bring their gay lover into the house, or they're not allowed to bring their college boyfriend or girlfriend to sleep in the same room, or they will leave you. If you're not willing to lose them, you're not willing to live by the very gospel you say you proclaim. We just had it a few days ago. Said, I didn't come to unite. I came to divide, mother against daughter, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, father against son. He wasn't saying I want division. He was saying, I'm going to separate the sheep from the goats. You better choose me over them. Choose Jesus over everyone else's opinion. If you die for it, like St. Paul said, for to me life is Christ and death is gain. If I go on living in the flesh, it means fruitful labor for me. I do not know which I shall choose. I'm caught between the two. Life isn't going to be easy. It wasn't meant to be easy. But please don't continue to say we are walking the Christian faith if we're like always trying to put down our crosses. Your spouse is making you hurt in your marriage. No, you're not being beat up. but your heart hurts. You have a great big void. I know what it's like to have a great big void in the marriage. I had that for many years. But you carry your cross instead of forcing your children to pick it up. You carry your cross of all these, your spouse denying you because all of the things that I just mentioned. Deny yourself those desires, your wants. Pick up your cross and follow Christ. Doesn't matter if nobody else is following you. As long as he's in front of you, you're following him. That's all you need to worry about. You can pray your backside off. You give your children to God. You give your spouse to God. You give the outcomes to God. But be courageous. Because I guarantee you, when you die and you meet God face to face and he says, remember when you didn't do the right thing because you're afraid of what so-and-so would think? You will have regret. You will then wish you had chosen to do only what God wanted. And I don't want you to have any regrets. I love you. I speak the truth because I love you, even if I've never met you, because I will meet you one day if you get to heaven. Speak the truth in love and give God the consequences. It's the greatest way to find peace. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching this Bacon Bit. And as always, remember to live your life sunny side up.